Leveraging strategic connections and networks for audience expansion and podcast growth. That's what's in store on this week's episode of Legit Podcast Pro. Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Legit Podcast Pro, where we unravel the world of podcasting from the legal and business angles. I'm Gordon Firemark, the podcast lawyer, and today we're diving into the power of networks and building relationships in the podcast world. We're going to be talking about the significance of joining podcast networks, mastering the art of collaboration, fostering a vibrant community, and using your podcast as a networking tool for your business. So buckle up as we embark on this enlightening journey. Now let's just kick things off right away with podcast networks. What exactly are they? Well, in simple terms, these are groups of podcasts that come together under a single banner for mutual growth and support. Joining a network can catapult your podcast into new realms of exposure and opportunities, and you get to share resources, tap into a larger audience pool, and even attract lucrative sponsorships. Think of it as joining a family where every member is committed to each other's success. Now, I will say not all podcast networks are created equal. Some are all about the ad sales. Some are all about the particulars of the particular niche that the network serves, and there's lots of other kinds of things as well. But here are the top 5 things that podcast networks typically offer. Audience cross-promotion and exposure. Networks often promote shows within their lineup to each other's audiences, and this cross-promotion can significantly increase your podcast's exposure, helping it reach listeners who are already interested in similar content. Being part of the network means your podcast can be featured on other shows, in network ads, or on the network's website and social media platforms. Sponsorship and monetization opportunities. One of the primary advantages of joining a network is the potential for better monetization. Networks often have dedicated sales teams that work to secure sponsorships and advertising deals. These teams can negotiate higher rates and better deals than individual podcasters might achieve on their own, and this can lead to more consistent and potentially more lucrative opportunities. Shared resources and support services. This is a big one. Networks can provide access to resources that individual podcasters might not have. That could include production and editing services, marketing and PR support, legal and business advice, and much more. Some networks also offer training and workshops to help podcasters improve their skills. Access to these resources can significantly improve the quality of the podcast and reduce the workload on the podcaster. Community and networking. Being part of a podcast network can offer a sense of community and provide networking opportunities with other podcasters. This could lead to collaborations, sharing best practices, support from peers who understand the challenges of podcasting. Networks often organize events, meetups, or online forums where their members can connect and collaborate, and that's a plus win-win situation too. Credibility and brand association. Associating with well-known and respected network can lend credibility to your show. This could be particularly beneficial for a newer podcast looking to establish itself in the industry, but being part of a reputable network can also make a podcast more attractive to potential guests and sponsors and listeners. Each network might offer different benefits, and the value of these offerings could vary depending on the network's size and focus and reputation. Podcasters should carefully consider what a network can provide and how it aligns with their own goals and needs. Now, next up, we're going to be talking about collaborations. Teaming up with fellow podcasters or industry experts is a brilliant strategy for audience expansion. It's all about creating a synergy where your content complements each other. When you collaborate, you're not just sharing your audience, you're introducing them to new perspectives and voices. For example, a number of shows have showcased how combining forces can lead to innovative content and a broader listener base. Remember, the right collaboration can be a win-win for everyone involved. Collaboration between podcasters and experts can take various forms, each offering unique benefits and opportunities for growth, engagement, and content enrichment. Here are a couple of different ways that a collaboration might work. Interviews and guest appearances. One of the most straightforward collaborations is inviting experts as guests on your show. That can provide your audience with specialized knowledge and fresh perspective. And as a podcaster, you could be a guest on an expert's show to share your insights and reach a new audience. Joint episodes or series is another approach. Podcasters and experts might co-create specific episodes or a series of episodes on a particular topic. That approach allows for deeper exploration of a subject, and it can showcase both parties' strengths and expertise. Panel discussions and roundtables. Hosting a panel discussion with a bunch of experts could provide a diverse range of opinions and insights on a specific topic. This format is particularly engaging and can be an excellent way for listeners to hear different viewpoints all in one setting. Cross-promotion and social media sharing. Collaborators can promote each other's work through their respective channels. That might include social media shout-outs, sharing each other's episodes, or mentioning each other in newsletters or blogs. Co-hosting live events or webinars and collaborating on these kinds of events can be an excellent way to engage with audiences in real time, and it also offers an opportunity for interactive discussion and audience participation. There's the content exchange or guest blogging. Writing guest articles or blog posts for each other's websites can be an additional effective way to tap into one another's audiences. This can be very useful if the expert has a substantial following or a well-established platform. And co-producing content, collaborating on the production side, such as creating joint content, could lead to innovative and unique podcast formats or episodes that wouldn't really be possible individually. Workshops and training sessions where you combine expertise to offer educational training can be really beneficial for audiences that are looking for practical advice and skills development. And then there's affiliate marketing and sponsorships. If an expert has a product or a service, a partnership could involve affiliate marketing where the podcaster promotes the expert's offering and gets a commission or a sponsorship out of it. Community building initiatives. Collaborators often can work together on community building efforts like creating online forums, Facebook groups, or hosting meetups for their listeners. Each of these collaboration forms can add value to a podcast by providing listeners with enriched content, diverse perspectives, and a more engaging listener experience. It's important for both parties to clearly communicate and align their goals for the collaboration to be successful. Now, onto the heart and soul of podcasting, community building. Your listeners are more than just numbers. They are the backbone of your podcast. So engaging with them, understanding their preferences, and creating content that resonates with them is vital. This can be done through social media, forums, or even live Q&A sessions. Building a community is about creating a space where your listeners feel valued and connected. When your audience feels like a part of your podcast family, their loyalty and advocacy can propel your show to new heights. Here are a few of the things that you could do to build that strong podcast sense of community. First off, social media engagement, using social media platforms to interact with the audience, regularly posting updates, behind-the-scenes content, and engaging in conversations with your listeners. Create a hashtag specific to your podcast so your listeners can use it and make it easier to find and participate in discussions relating to the show. Listener feedback and involvement. Encouraging listener feedback by asking for their opinions, suggestions, or questions. You could include listener-generated content in your episodes, such as answering their questions, sharing their stories, or responding to their comments. This kind of involvement makes listeners feel valued and a part of the podcast creation team. Online communities. Create a dedicated space for your listeners to gather. Things like a Facebook group or Discord server or subreddit. This space would then be used for discussions about episodes, sharing related content, or simply connecting with like-minded individuals. Actively moderate and participate in these communities to foster a positive, inclusive environment. Exclusive content and perks is another great strategy. Offer special content or perks to your community members. This could be bonus episodes, early access to new episodes, or exclusive merchandise. These exclusive can incentivize listeners to join and engage with your community. Meetups and live events. Organizing events can even virtual hangouts where listeners can interact with you and each other can be a great tool. They can strengthen the community bond and give listeners a memorable kind of an experience. And then there's interactive content. When you incorporate interactive elements into your podcast, things like live streaming episodes, hosting Q&A sessions, or creating interactive polls and contests, interactivity like this will increase listener engagement and make them feel more connected to your show. Again, collaborating with other podcasters introduces your audience to new content and brings in new listeners and audience from other communities. And this can really help expand your listener base and create a broader community network. Email newsletters should not be overlooked. Keep your listeners updated and engaged with regular emails. Share updates about the podcast, upcoming episodes, and any relevant news or articles. You could also include exclusive content for newsletter subscribers. Personalizing your interaction with the audience is very important. This could be acknowledging individual listeners in the episodes, sending personalized thank you notes or shout outs in your show. Responding directly to listener emails and comments goes a long way. And then consistency and quality content. Ultimately, the key to building a strong community and a good podcast is consistently delivering high quality content. So keep your content engaging, relevant, and aligned with your audience's interests. A dedicated and satisfied listener base is much more likely to engage and participate in your community. By using a combination of all these different strategies, you can create a thriving community around your show, and that can play a crucial role in your podcast's growth and sustainability. Now, next, let's delve into how your podcast can be a phenomenal networking tool for your business. After all, it's a platform where you can connect with industry leaders, potential clients, and like-minded professionals. By interviewing these people, you are not just creating content, you're building relationships. It's a subtle but powerful way of networking that doesn't feel like a sales pitch. This approach leaves a lasting impression on both your guests and your audience. It opens doors to numerous opportunities. And it's all about striking the perfect balance between being informative and personable. So here are several ways you could do this. 1, interviewing industry leaders and experts. By inviting leaders and experts in your field to be guests on your show, you build relationships with key figures in your industry. This not only provides valuable content for your listeners, but it establishes a connection with these influential individuals who could then become collaborators, mentors, or even clients. Showcasing your expertise. A podcast allows you to share your knowledge and insights, positioning you and your business as authorities in your field. And this visibility can attract potential business partners or clients who are looking for experts with that specific set of skills and knowledge. Building brand awareness and credibility is another approach. Regularly producing a podcast helps build your brand and establish credibility in your industry. As your show grows in popularity, so does your reputation, and that opens doors to new opportunities and partnerships. Networking events and conferences, using your podcast as a platform to discuss industry events and conferences is a great way. And then when you attend these conferences and events as a podcaster, it provides opportunities to interview attendees and speakers, more expansion of your network. You can collaborate with other shows and other businesses by bringing them on your episodes and having sharing and promotional activities. That'll broaden your reach. And these partnerships will often lead to cross-promotion and new networking opportunities as well. Again, creating a community around your brand. A podcast can help foster a community of listeners who are interested in your content and, by extension, in your business. Engaging with this community will lead to strong relationships and even customer conversions. And also leveraging social media and online platforms. Promote your podcast on social media and other online platforms, and that'll help you reach that wider audience. But it also helps you connect with other professionals and potential clients that are active on those platforms. Your podcast could also be a tool for direct outreach. Interviewing potential clients or partners on your podcast can be an excellent way to initiate a relationship in a non-salesy context. Attracting sponsors and advertisers to your podcast can also lead to business relationships beyond the simple advertising agreement. Those things can evolve into complicated and very lucrative strategic partnerships or collaborations. And finally, you're offering a platform for thought leadership. By covering cutting-edge topics, trends, and ideas in your industry, your podcast becomes a go-to source for thought leadership. You can attract other thought leaders, create opportunities for networking, collaboration, and so on. So you can see a podcast can be used effectively as a multifaceted tool for business networking. It offers a unique combination of brand building, relationship development, and industry engagement. So I hope this has helped you gain deeper insight into the transformative power of networking in the podcasting world. Whether it's by joining a traditional podcast network or collaborating or building a community or using your podcast for business networking purposes, each of the strategies we've laid out here today can play a vital role in your podcast's growth. So now I'd love to hear from you. And if you have any burning questions about podcasting, the legal aspects or the business strategies, please send them our way. and you'll get a chance to be featured in a future episode. Visit firemark.com/questions, and I'll get back to you with an answer to your question. So thank you for tuning in to Legit Podcast Pro. If you have enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave us a review. I'm Gordon Firemark, the podcast lawyer, and I'll be back soon with more tips and insights. And until then, keep podcasting with purpose and passion.